Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Mayor Mayoress, Miss Lily, members of the Merchant Taylors Company, governors, distinguished guests, parents, pupils and staff of the school, and old girls, I'm pleased to present the school report for the academic year 2016-17. This time last year, we were anticipating the feedback from our inspection in November. We publicised the results in early 2017, but it is worth reminding everyone that in the new system of the two categories of the achievement of the pupils and their personal development, the school was awarded excellent in both. In Ofsted speak, this is classed as outstanding. The key findings from the report stated that the high-quality, aspirational teaching ensures that the school is highly successful in meeting its aims of educating pupils in the fullest sense. Academic attainment is above the national average, and pupils' attitudes to learning are excellent. Good specialist support is provided for pupils with specialist needs, and the more able pupils are provided with extra challenge in class and in wider activities. Pupils achieve significant success in a wide range of extracurricular activities. The inspection team found that pupils are exceptionally self-confident, self-assured, and responsible. They are strongly aware of the impact of their own behaviour and the effort on their progress. Relationships across the school are excellent, underpinned by outstanding levels of mutual respect, and the pupils are extremely well prepared for the challenges of the next stage of their education. In fact, the inspection team confirmed what we know about our school, that it is an exceptional school. It is a high-achieving academic school, and not only that, but with a multitude of activities, opportunities and successes, is quite outstanding. We're here today to celebrate the successes of the last academic year, to congratulate the girls on their achievements, and also to thank and publicly acknowledge the contribution and commitment of our staff and our leaving staff. We were thrilled with our examination results this year, and congratulations to all the candidates. At GCSE, where we had a combination of new and old grading systems, we were delighted for all the girls who collectively achieved 70% at the top grades of A, A-star, and levels 9, 8 and 7. At A-level, over 2/3 achieved the top grades of A-star to B, which is an excellent achievement considering the uncertainty of the assessment with the new, more rigorous specifications and, of course, our focus on the more demanding subjects. 6 students from this cohort are studying medicine, and 6 chose other science-related subjects, and 6 are studying law and combinations of law. Kate Abramson and Samantha Jones secured highly sought-after apprenticeships in law and engineering, respectively. And we have another 2 studying engineering, Jessie Lee at Cambridge and Ramat Abdulatif at Hull University. In terms of the universities, the top destinations were Liverpool and Leeds. But we're also thrilled for April Lan, who secured an art foundation course at the top University of Central St Martin's in London. I would like to say well done to all of you. We know at Merchants we do not just stand for academic success. Personal development, which was applauded by the inspection team, is where you will recognise the quality of our provision. But before I speak about the current sixth form students, I would like to specifically mention Tilly O'Brien, who became a young ambassador for the Brain Tumour Charity after raising over £2,000 in a parachute jump. She showed great perseverance and commitment in the face of a very serious medical condition and is now studying at Leeds University. The quotation, "To those to whom much is given, much is expected," is a key feature of personal development. And 20 of the current Upper 6 students have completed their 100 hours of community service in order to achieve their Lions Young Leaders Awards. Sophie Fitzgerald undertook hers in the Community Foundation for Lancashire and Merseyside, while Julia Suzuki was a helper on a pilgrimage to Bannow. Hannah Wilcox is a teaching assistant at Martin Mere Nature Reserve, whilst Amelia Perkin-Brown volunteers with Riding for the Disabled. Some of our sixth form students support our SHINE programme, which teaches bright 10-year-old girls from disadvantaged backgrounds to aspire for higher achievement. Jessica Lloyd was one of these students, and she also volunteered as an assistant at Waterloo Primary School, as well as completing her St John's Ambulance First Aid course. Volunteering tests and develops transferable skills, from communication and time management to teamwork and dexterity. Charlotte Cheshire completed 200 hours of community work and is our chair of the listening service in school. She balances her academic work with a passion for horse riding and has also achieved grade 7 acting and grade 8 musical theatre, both with distinction, as well as completing her Gold D.V., and she's now applying to study law at university. Gold Duke of Edinburgh can be one of the best experiences a young person encounters, as stated by Nia Almond in her UCAS application. Working with others whilst being tested by the elements requires perseverance, organisation, and a positive mental attitude. I am privileged to read the final UCAS personal statements, and every year I am overwhelmed by the sheer variety of endeavours and experiences of our students. The sixth form is a time when our students begin to take their well-developed skills outside the merchant's bubble. They begin to recognise their place in the world and add the finesse and polish expected from a merchant's girl. Many of our students participate in the Model United Nations General Assembly and the European Youth Parliament, role-playing through crisis meetings whilst learning about peacekeeping and international relationships, as Ellen Nagy stated in her UCAS application. Attending criminology lectures, psychology students have been exposed to current inspiring research, whilst the students who visited NASA Space Center in Texas learnt how to construct a Mars rover, a cryogenic capsule, and an Aquasphero robot. Emma Pearson, who was named as the Ogden Trust Physicist of the Year, also gained one of only 4 places to visit CERN, and then went on with Nia Almond, Lauren Widders, and Catherine McGuinness to win one of the 16 places in the National Xmas competition to visit the synchrotron in Grenoble for science and engineering. I state in my presentations to prospective parents on open days that our girls are not just talented, they are multi-talented. They're not just successful in one area of their lives, but in several. Take Catherine, our head girl. She became a young leader with the Girl Guides, has received a Baden-Powell Award. She spent some of her summer in Zambia supporting young readers. She completed her Gold D.V. by open kayaking from Fort William to Inverness. Catherine is one of 12 applying to study medical degrees next year. Sasha Mcgowan, one of the deputy head girls, is applying to be an engineer. She achieved silver in the UK Maths Challenge and represented the school at the regional finals. Sasha, along with Catherine and Sophie Fitzgerald, took a lead role in the joint school's production of She Stoops to Conquer. She was also a member of the rowing team that qualified for Henley. Lisa Chen, who is fluent in both Mandarin and Cantonese, is hoping to study Japanese at university. She achieved 3rd place in a national quiz held at Manchester University. Studying Spanish whilst being fluent in Russian, Daria Artiuk undertook the IFS Student Investor Challenge. She plays grade 8 piano and has a PADI certificate in scuba diving. She's applying to read economics at university. Our 2 potential vets Morag Molyneux, who has a place on the regional under-18 pony club team, and Lauren Widders, who has danced for 7 years, have equally impressive CVs, not only with volunteering activities, but also work experience ranging from lambing to racehorses and dog agility training. Charlie Apel, who is currently the head of the RAF section of the Joint Schools CCF, achieved a distinction in the prestigious Air Cadet Leadership course, demonstrating her skills beyond the classroom environment. From my perspective, assemblies form a huge part of school life. And in a recent one, we focused on the incredible talent of some of our brightest and highest achievers. Their specialities were recognised, whilst we also acknowledged the sacrifices they have to make to aspire for success. Merchant Taylors nurtures elite performers and supports their endeavours. And as we are so very proud of them, I would like to just mention a few. Eleanor Worthington Cox, one of the young performers of Matilda in the West End, for which she received an Olivier Award, was last year nominated for a BAFTA, and we wish her well in her new role as a Celt in the forthcoming Sky production of Britannia. Unfortunately, she can't be with us today. Aira Murphy was selected from over 6,000 entrants to be named as one of the top 15 Foyle Young Poets of the Year. And she also took a lead role in one of our recent productions. We're thrilled that Chloe Jones, our Senior Musician of the Year, who unfortunately also can't be with us because she's ill, and Rachel Burnett, the Middle School Musician of the Year, they have both successfully passed through the first rounds of the BBC Young Musician of the Year competition. I doubt there's many schools who have 2 members of their school in that competition. Chloe has also been appointed the Principal Flute for the National Youth Orchestra of Great Britain. Angelina Dorlin-Barlow has been given a solo part in the National Youth Choir. In one of my recent assemblies, I also spoke about the ebb and flow of the life of the school and how each girl will have a unique set of memories depending on whether she was part of the very successful athletics or rowing team, visited the Colosseum with the classics department, or Iceland with the geography department, participated in one of the school choirs, visited the Hepworth Art Museum, or the battlefields trip with the history department. The visit to China last year was truly memorable, and it was very unfortunate that the return visit from Shanghai Chaoyang High School was prevented due to their visas not being granted in time. Equally unfortunate was the cancellation of our planned trip to Sierra Leone to visit Hope Preparatory School and the Nelson Mandela High School in the village of Waterloo. Prevented originally by Ebola and now more recently by the floods, which resulted in cholera outbreaks. Our students continue to fundraise and receive messages of grateful thanks from our friends in Sierra Leone. The full charity report is in the Prizegiving programme, along with reports from other key areas of the school. But I'm now going to ask the head girl team just to speak about their experiences over the last academic year.
When deciding upon the content of our speeches for today, we looked at what we had done to make it to here. It has been hard, and at some points we all just want to take a year in bed. But we are merchants, girls. We are here in this hall because we all want to be great. Part of what makes us great into strong, independent and well-rounded young women is the extracurricular programme that the school offers. This will be the main focus of our talks to you today, as we feel that we are who we are because of the opportunities we have had during our time here. Sarah will tell you about the achievements and events in the drama and music departments. Sasha will be telling you about the PE department, as well as what's been happening in CCF and D&V. The clubs and lunchtime activities that school offer are more than a single person can do. Trust me, I tried. In Year 7, I attempted to be a member of every single club, so much so I had to alternate weeks between card-making club and chess club. I tried to be sporty, but soon realised that I would stick to music, where you could hide in a crowd if you were slightly less able. Being part of choir and orchestra has been a highlight of my time at school. I have made my closest friends and travelled the world, performing in some of the most prestigious venues in Europe. The trips away from school are always a highlight. A day away from the classroom to Conway or the White Scar Caves is always good fun, especially if you had double PE or double maths. The trips abroad are even better, forming relationships with girls from different forms or different year groups, and seeing staff in their own clothes for a whole week, although staff do wonder whose clothes they are wearing when they are in school, if not their own. I hope I have always taken every opportunity and made the most of my merchant's career. I would highly recommend seizing every opportunity, as they will be the times you remember. The more opportunities you take, the more opportunities that will present themselves to you. Throughout the academic year, there have been many trips organised by the academic departments. At the start of October half-term, 35 girls and staff headed off to China on a much-anticipated cultural trip to Beijing, Xi'an and Shanghai. They went to a school who we are partnered with and planned for a group of their pupils to come to us. In the summer term, 4 lower 6th physics students won a physics trip to Grenoble after entering a national competition. I was lucky enough to be part of this group who travelled to the European synchrotron and spent 4 days learning about how it worked and how the experiments done there benefit every aspect of life. Geography took their GCSE students to Iceland, whilst the physics department travelled to NASA in Texas for a mission to Mars themed week. There were also the usual ski trips, which are always very entertaining. These are just a few examples of the extracurricular events that the school offers to us, which contribute to the well-known, frequently derided, but much-loved acronym BEFL.
The Duke of Edinburgh Award is a very highly regarded scheme at Merchant Taylor's Girls' School, requiring not only mental and physical resilience, but also teamwork and a positive mindset. Friendships are strengthened throughout this experience, and the skills developed are invaluable. The award isn't about being the first, the fastest, or the best, but about working together to achieve something special and memorable. The award has several different aspects. The voluntary section is a great opportunity for girls to give back to the local community, and the skill and sports sections encourage girls to try new activities. Expeditions range from a morning of map reading to 4 days of walking and camping. This year, 35 girls successfully completed their bronze and silver award, and a further 13 girls have attained their gold award, including 5 girls in CCF who travelled to the Pyrenees for their expedition. Our combined cadets force is a very popular after-school activity, which runs jointly with the boys' school. I know that Sarah will mention closer collaboration with the community down the road further in her speech. From Year 9, girls have the option to join either the Army, RAF, or Navy. And this year, 2 of the 3 sections are headed by girls. The lower years are taught mostly by older cadets, whilst under the guidance of the adult staff. This summer, the RAF section made several trips abroad, including to Gibraltar and to Cyprus, where they expanded their knowledge of a working RAF station. The 3rd trip was to Germany, where they took part in an adventure training camp. Throughout the year, the Army has frequent camps at weekends and holidays, involving a high level of physical activity, as well as war games, which create a huge sense of comradeship and teamwork. There is such a wide selection of sport offered in our school that for girls, one of the hardest tasks can be choosing what to participate in each term. The sport teams have competed in many matches against local schools, and for the first time in 20 years, the athletic squad reached the national finals. There have been further successes for the first 11 hockey squad, qualifying for the Northwest Finals, and Nia Olmont in Upper 6th reaching the quarter-finals of the Henley Women's Regatta, the second largest women's regatta in the world. The new innovation of an Old Girls Festival of Sport was held in September, which invited past students of the school back to take part in reunion matches. The girls had a fantastic time playing against the alumni and looking back with them at old photographs. We are extremely lucky at Merchant Taylors to have such a large number of extracurricular activities. This emanates from the constant support and commitment of all the members of staff who give up their time for training sessions, whether at lunchtime, after school, or during the weekend.
One of the best aspects of school life are the various ways of becoming involved with the music and drama departments. Such activities allow you to meet people across different year groups with similar interests, and in our joint productions, the spirit of collaboration with members of the MTGS community can be recognised. Last November, our gifted singers, dancers and musicians took part in Greece, which was enjoyed by all those who were involved. In March, more of our talented actresses took to the stage for She Stoops to Conquer. These two productions, which were great successes, are good examples of just how much our school values talent and effort in areas beyond academia. There are individuals within the music department, such as our senior and middle school musicians of the year, Chloe Jones and Rachel Burnett, who have achieved a lot over the last academic year. The music competition held in March allowed all the girls to show their abilities as soloists, and the standard, as always, was incredibly high. Additionally, a key asset to the music department is that our summer concerts require a combined effort, and after performing, perhaps in the choir or orchestra, everyone feels the same sense of achievement. Whilst it is recognised that academia is an important attribute to school life, extracurricular is never overlooked, as it is what helps to shape each and every individual at our school. What I especially enjoy about MTGS is that within the music and drama departments, there are many opportunities to get involved, regardless of ability.
Thank you, girls. Last summer, we said goodbye to Mr. Lamb, who was appointed as Vice Principal of New Hall School. Mr. Daphnis returned to his previous school in El Salvador to a promoted post. Mrs. Doyle, Mrs. Pepin, Mrs. Southworth and Mrs. Vaughan left the school to pursue new activities. And although Mrs. Southworth has continued to support our D.V. programme, so we have seen her back in school. Each of these members of staff gave more than their expertise to the school. Their love of their own subject, their care of each person they encountered, pupil or staff member, they were each known in their own way as performing above and beyond the call of duty. We welcomed into the school Mr. Hill in the Religious Studies Department and Mrs. Girl to teach German and French. Mrs. Warwell, Mrs. Downing and Mrs. Bays are with us temporarily, and our needs in the Careers Department are being looked after by Mrs. Morris. We would like to send our love and best wishes to Miss Tickle, as well as other colleagues who are not present today. We have welcomed into the school Mrs. Lisa Connor as our Development Manager, Mr. Jonathan Reed, an old boy, as our Alumni Officer, Miss Beth Cook, an old girl, as our Marketing Officer, and Mrs. Lynn Hill, who has been appointed as our Director of Finance and Operations. I would like to thank all of the very hard-working team of staff we have at Merchants, the caterers, the cleaners, the caretakers, ground staff, support and peripatetic staff, technicians and ICT staff, secretaries and bursarial staff. Much of the success we celebrate today would not be possible without their hard work, dedication and patience. Our Old Girls Association continues to give generously to fund sixth form places, and I would like to thank them for their continued support for the school. The Parent Teachers Association have continued to work on your behalf to raise funds to supplement the provision for the girls at both the primary and senior school. I would also like to thank the parents who completed the market research last spring, which enabled the governors to focus on a strategic plan for further developments in the school. And we are grateful to everyone who completed the questionnaire last autumn for the inspection. To have received a 98% satisfaction rate from both parents and pupils is quite outstanding and highly unusual even for the independent sector. I would like to say thank you formally to the governors. They give so much to the school, in time and energy, without any financial benefits. Their focus on continual improvement, value for money, and accountability ensures that the school is in extremely good health and ready for the future. and the 400 years beyond 2020. I would like to congratulate the Chair of Governors, Mrs. Bell, on her CBE for services to road safety and the freight industry. And thank you also for your kind words towards me. As you've heard, this is my last prize giving, and when I leave at Easter, I will have completed 12 years in the school and 17 as a head. It has been a real pleasure and privilege to work at Merchants with the support staff, colleagues in the wider school community, including Mr. Williams and Mrs. Thomas, my own senior management team, Jane Tyndall, Marie Bush, Julie Ardley and Elizabeth Lynan, Angela Wadsworth, Barbara Jones, Frances Lowell, Belinda Miller, Michaela Riches and Nigel Price, and all the teaching staff, professional people who do everything they can to ensure that we are providing your daughters with the very best. Schools are educational communities where every individual is supported and encouraged to fulfill her potential and personal ambition, both in and outside of the classroom. Successes such as you have heard today are the product of both individual talent and endeavour, together with an environment in which every one of us has the opportunity to exceed what we thought was possible, whatever age we are. But it is the talented and inspirational teaching that is the engine of education. And I would like to end with a tribute to the teachers of Merchants, both current and ex-staff. As the slogan says, no one forgets a good teacher. I remind the teachers on an annual basis that most individuals are remembered on average by 4 or 5 people, whereas teachers have hundreds of people who remember them. Our educational community is a very special one, and I am proud to be part of this incredible team. Thank you.